Hi, my name's Pam Hartshorne and I'm here in Barley Hall to talk about my new book, The Memory of Midnight. And I'm also going to be talking about how the history of York inspired the novel. I came to York first to do a PhD and I looked at the Wardenry courts in York, and there are some wonderful records about ordinary people living their ordinary lives here. So I used those as the inspiration for my characters and the setting. But I'm also going to be talking tonight about some of the other aspects of York that are so inspiring for a fiction writer. I'm going to be looking at some of the objects that survive, some of the objects that have been excavated, and that give us a real sense of immediacy of the past. And of course I'll be looking at the fabric of the city itself, which is so remarkable. York's a city really on a human scale, and there's a feeling here that the past is very close, I think. You always get the impression sometimes if you just narrow your eyes just a little and looked over your shoulder, you might be able to see what it was like. And that's what happens to Tess in The Memory of Midnight. He comes back to York, escaping from a controlling and abusive marriage, and she finds herself being drawn back into the life of Nell, who lived in the same house in Stonegate, just along the alley from here, in the late 16th century. And at the end of the book, Tess has been able to lay Nell to rest in a way, but she still remembers what she learnt about the city. It seemed to her that the past still echoed sometimes in the air. Every now and then she thought she caught a glimpse of a familiar face in the shadows. Out of the corner of her eye she would see the whisk of a skirt disappearing down an alley, but no matter how swiftly she turned to look more closely, it would be gone. Some days she would swear that the breeze carried the sounds and smells of the streets Nell had known. Then Tess would stop and strain her senses, but it was like trying to grasp the mist in her hand, and the next moment the wind would change and blow them away again.